Hey guys, it's your girl Shay here, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not new to my channel, welcome back. So as you can see by the title of this video, I'm talking about another live action anime announcement. And this one kind of came out of the blue for me, and I'm still kind of shocked they're actually doing it. But they're doing a live action anime series on the anime, The Promised Neverland. So the Promised Neverland series, or the anime The Promised Neverland, actually came out with its first season back in 2018, I believe. And I do know that the second season is supposed to come out sometime in 2021. Now, if you don't know what The Promised Neverland is about, The Promised Neverland is about a group of orphans who pretty much live on this farm, and they are raised by like a nun or some sort of nanny of some sort, and they start to realize that something kind of strange is going on, and they end up being very shocked by what they find out. I absolutely love the first season. I'm excited for the second season, and I do know that as of I believe last week, the manga has pretty much ended. I do want to read the manga though, by the way, because I want to know what happens next, and I'm tired of waiting for the anime. But the news that I have is that apparently Amazon is producing and coming out with a live action series about The Promised Neverland. Now, if you don't know much about live action anime, then usually a big majority of them aren't very good. A majority of them are really bad. They're done terribly. They get the story all wrong. They cast really weird people as the characters, and they just never go well. Also, Amazon is going to be very new to this game. Now, Netflix has came out with live action series before, or has even had them on their channel. For example, they've already had, they've done the Death Note live action that came out back in 2017. And they also had on their streaming service the live action Bleach, which wasn't too bad. And coming next year, they actually are already producing the Cowboy Bebop live action series. Now, one of the main differences though with this Promised Neverland live action is that it is going to be a series. It's not a movie, which is great because we've seen how terrible the movies can be. And so I will honestly have to say Cowboy Bebop though will be the first one for us to see whether or not a live action series is better or worse than a movie. And The Promised Neverland, I can probably say also based off of the amount of detail that is in that series, that a live action series will probably also be the best bet. Now, this is also probably the first time though I've ever heard of a series, an anime series, getting a live action before it's really finished. And I know that there are some series that have done movies based off of like the first arc and so on and so forth, but with The Promised Neverland, as far as this series is concerned, they've only done one season of the anime. So I have a feeling they're probably going to be going off of the original source material and probably producing it from there, because that's the only thing that they really have going for them at this point, is that the original source material is now done, so they don't have to really make anything up. Let's hope they don't, at least. Now, I do have my phone out because there is a couple of names on here that are connected with this show that I want to make sure I actually get correct because of the things that they have already been in and so on and so forth. So the person that they have currently actually who's going to be the producer of this series is going to be Masai Oka. Now, Masai Oka was actually used to be in TV and actually was in the NBC show Heroes, and he played the part as Hero, and pretty much he was like a time traveling comic book nerd. I was never really into the show Heroes. I watched one episode and kind of like fell off the wagon, but yeah, he's pretty much going to be producing it, but this isn't his first time producing a live action. One of the other movies that he has produced was the terrible live action Death Note that came out on Netflix, and he also was involved in the live action movie of Attack on Titan as well as Mega Man. But I can tell you right now, Death Note was good if you liked just a horror movie genre, but if you're a fan of Death Note, you probably hated it. And Attack on Titan was terrible also. They got rid of characters and so on and so forth, but that's a whole nother can of worms that are going to be opened up. But pretty much he is connected with it, and I have to say that based off of what he's been in, and most of them were not successes, I'm kind of scared about what's going to come out of this. The only other person that is connected is going to be the director of this series, and his name is Rodney Rothman, and he is the co-director actually of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which you know, kind of made me a little bit more excited because we all know that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was amazing. I mean, it won an Oscar for Best Animated Film. I mean, you can't get any better than that. And plus, they're making a number 2, so I'm super excited. But he's the other person connected to the series that I can kind of say maybe makes this a little bit better. But honestly, that's all we know of for now. We don't have any information regarding a release date. We don't have any information about who's going to play what character. We don't have any information regarding at all any details. Although I do have my suspicions on what they're going to do. My suspicions are that they're going to probably age up the characters. I mean, the characters in the actual like show are like, what, 9 or 10? And I feel like they're probably going to age them up to be at least teenagers because they're probably not going to want to work with younger kids. I mean, it's very few series that I remember that actually worked with younger kids, or even movies that had younger kids that are supposed to be in the books, but then in the movies, they aged them up, unless the series was supposed to be age by age, like for example Harry Potter. But even for me, like I was a big fan of the book The Giver, and they actually aged up the characters when they came out with that movie, so I wouldn't be surprised if they aged up the characters in this show. But once again, I'm not very excited about this, but it's interesting to see this show going to come out on Amazon because Amazon is still pretty new to the entire anime game. I think I only know of one anime series that I actually really wanted to watch, but they had it, and that was Scum's Wish way back like a few years ago. But overall, like, I'm not excited about it. I'm kind of confused. I'm also asking why. I mean, not gonna lie, The Promised Neverland is a really neat concept for a show, so maybe as a live action it could really work. I mean, it may not need a whole lot of CGI involved, although there are some aspects that might be problematic, but that's the only thing that I can think of. But overall, yeah, not excited. So of course, like always, I want you guys to comment your thoughts. Are you excited about this potential live action coming out? Are you kind of okay with this since it's going to be a series as opposed to a movie? What do you think they're going to change regarding the series to make things a little bit easier or less problematic, I guess is the easiest way for me to say it. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Of course, like always, I will leave links down below to my social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a blog, so check me out on there. And of course, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because I would love for you guys to subscribe. And if you keep coming back to see my videos, just subscribe. And of course, like always, I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and in today's day and age, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. All right, you guys. Bye.